Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program Business Point on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition. So, we'll be looking at agriculture and then the value of farmers and traders. Will be extracting all of those angles, looking at the current inflationary measures that we're facing in the country. And it has been said by the spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, that the major forces driving inflation in the country is from food. So today we'll be looking at the agricultural angle of business and what farmers and traders have been facing. We'll be looking at the impacts around subsidy, agricultural subsidy, and the impacts on farmers as well as traders. I have someone who would help us understand all of these angles, but before I get to introduce my guest who is joining us virtually, we'll be extracting other major talking points that has to do with a long-term investment in terms of agriculture. My guest as well will also help us understand those talking points as the show continues. So you just sit back and then we'll be right back immediately after this break. Business Point on Global Television.
The business world can be dynamic and unpredictable, with headwinds and volatility sometimes becoming an obstacle for players in the business and economy landscape. Watch Business Point on Global Television as Samuel Odi walks you through the twists, turns and curves in bonds, stocks and crucial market indices from a global standpoint. Watch Business Point weekdays on Global Television at 11 a.m. West African time. Business Point. This is business.
Many thanks for staying with us. And if you're just joining, this is Business Point on Global Television. Now let's get right into the conversation. And I'm about to introduce my guest, who is joining me all the way from Akwa Ibom State. Like they love to say, Akwa Ibom State. Good morning, Mr. Anifyong Ekanem. Thank you so much for joining on today's edition of Business Point. Good morning, if you can hear me. Many thanks for joining us. Let's get right into the conversation, if you can really hear me. Subsidy in agriculture. Let's know, you as an agriculturer, and then you are obviously the CEO of Simatex Limited. So let's know, as a farmer, what are the major subsidies, or how do subsidy affect you farmers in terms of income, profits, and production decisions, if you can hear me? We're seeming to have a bit of technical issues. Please do stay with us. We'll be right back. Business Point on Global Television.
The business world can be dynamic and unpredictable, with headwinds and volatility sometimes becoming an obstacle for players in the business and economy landscape. Watch Business Point on Global Television as Samuel Oji walks you through the twists, turns, and curves in bonds, stocks, and crucial market indices from a global standpoint. Watch Business Point weekdays on Global Television at 11 a.m. West African time. Business Point. This is business.
Business Point on Global Television.
The business world can be dynamic and unpredictable, with headwinds and volatility sometimes becoming an obstacle for players in the business and economy landscape. Watch Business Point on Global Television as Samuel Oji walks you through the twists, turns and curves in bands, stocks and crucial market indices from a global standpoint. Watch Business Point weekdays on Global Television at 11 a.m. West African time. Business Point. This is business.
Many thanks for staying with us, and we sincerely apologize due to some technical issues from the end of our guest for today. He can't really join us, but still, we have other things packaged for you in line with Nigerian businesses, and the report from October shows the worsening condition in October as cost pressure triggered and rapid inflation results in the sharpest turn in business activities in the month of October. This is according to report of Purchasing Managers Index for October, which also reveals that the business activities declined at the sharpest rate in 19 months to 46.9 from 49.8 in the month of September. It is the sharpest deterioration in business conditions since March of 2023. According to the report, the overall input cost rose at one of the sharpest rates of order, promoting a corresponding decrease in selling prices. This leads to a significant decline in new orders and businesses' activities, with business sentiment reaching its lowest point in the survey's history. According to report, overall input cost rose at one of the most sharpest rates, one record, prompting a corresponding increase in selling prices. This leads to a significant decline in new orders and business activities with business segments. So this is just despite all of these inflation measures that are being set, it's showing a whole lot of downtime, and then businesses are beginning to suffer, not just in the market space, even in the agricultural sector, which was what we were hoping that we would x-ray today. But given the fact of unforeseen technical issues from the angle of our guests, we can't get right deep into those conversations. But the fact that food is a major cause of the inflation measures that has been reported by the presidency. Now we are going to look for avenues on how we can generate more production, because a whole lot of economics and public affairs analysts have argued and have stated that small production is what's going to lead or help cop out the inflation, not tightening the monetary policy as the CBN and the Minister of Finance has been doing for the past few months. So looking at those angles now, we were hoping that there should be more avenues for a whole lot of production should be done. Individuals get into agriculture, maybe start from your little backyard and start planting a little of what you and your family can eat. So from there, we could be able to grow and expand and help cope out inflation. But however, these steps, of price hikes significantly impacted customers' demand, causing new orders to decline for the first 3 months. This report stated, the headline, Purchasing Managers index rather dropped to 46.9% in the month of October from 49.8 in the month of September, and signaled a marked deterioration in business condition that was the most pronounced since March 2023. Central to the worsened business environment in October was an intensification of already strong inflation pressure. Overall input price surged higher with the latest rise in the third fastest in the surveyor's history. So talking about that, there's other measures apart from the fact that food is one of the main key leads that's causing inflation. Some persons have also said petrol hike. The price in petrol has also cost so much. Consumers struggle as Dangote refinery and marketers clash over fuel supply pricing. The recent hike in petrol price by the NNPC has intensified the strain on Nigerians, leaving many to wonder why prices remain high despite local refinery. A back and forth between Dangote refinery and marketers over supply costs has added to the confusion, with each side pointing fingers at pricing and quality. Meanwhile, consumers face long queues and rising costs, struggling to afford fuel at the standoff continues. As the standoff rather continues, the recent petrol price hike by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC Limited, has taken a toll on Nigerians, particularly commuters and motorists nationwide. However, many are now asking why the much anticipated Dangote refinery hasn't brought down the fuel price. Talking about the Dangote refinery sells, as actually said, they sell their products for 990 naira to tankers, and then 960 naira for shippers. So looking at those now, Dangote have said the quality of product that is being sold and being brought into the Nigerian market is of high quality, while marketers have argued that getting products outside Nigeria, that is importing into Nigeria, is more cheaper than what Dangote refinery is, being selling to the general public. We have 3 other refineries. Why are these refineries not working? Questions being asked by Nigerians, that if these refineries are working, that means we wouldn't be depending so much on Dangote refinery to be able to, have enough fuel, and then the pricing too is another issue. But in defense, Dangote refinery came out to say that those products that are being sold at a cheaper rate and are being imported to the country are of lower quality, and that it all has a negative effect on Nigerians and the people living with the country. So there are health challenges that it poses if it does come into the country. So finally, this is business. Dangote refinery. Dangote himself obviously opened up this refinery so as to make profit, and he took a loan to be able to have all of these businesses going, right? So if all of this is going on, obviously the man is in the business of making profit, and he would also want to repay back his loan. So we need to find a way. The government needs to step in. What public affairs analysts have been arguing, that the government needs to step in and bring an actual date when this refineries in Kaduna State, Port Harcourt, and Rivers and Warri Delta would start, functioning, because from December last year, we've been having series of dates that, okay, in the next 2 months, in the next 3 months, in the next 4 months, now we're in the month of November. Nothing has been said, nothing has been done. The refineries are still not doing nothing in terms of, producing premium motor spirit. So all of these concerns now are what is actually affecting Nigerians, and is also helping the prices of food get up and then gets worsened by the day. So this is what analysts have said, and then they've given a recommendation for the government to be able to get the refineries working, get some consultants or people who would be able to do the repairs that is required. But still talking about those. They are wondering, as people, Nigerians are wondering still, after facing scarcity and high costs, even with local refined products available for the first time. Meanwhile, the management of the Dangote refinery and local fuel marketers are now clashing over pricing and availability. Aliko Dangote, CEO of the 650,000 barrels per day refinery, insists that there is no shortage and that there is sufficient of petrol that is available for marketers. He revealed this in the Lagos-based refinery currently holds around 53 million liters of petrol on a daily base. So if all of this is happening, then why are we still witnessing queues? And then Nigerians are asking all these questions that things need to be done differently. Let's move away from the fuel hike and have a conversation around stock markets and the post 1.2 trillion naira losses as most investors sell their shares. Sell-offs in the stock market in the past week led to a 5-day of consecutive losses for investors. At the end of the week, investors saw about 1.22 trillion shoved off their wealth. And analysts paint the sell-offs in the market on portfolio balance and activities of investors who offload some shares like newcomers, and which dipped by 25.75% week on week, and Boa Cement, whose value dipped by 11.09% compared to the previous week. Also, researchers at Kari Limited blamed the negative trading pattern on cautious trading behavior as investors grappled with economic uncertainties. They also attributed it to the latest macroeconomic data release, such as the data on internal generated revenue across 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory for 2023, released by the National Bureau of Statistics. To close the week, all share index took a sharp 2.3% week-on-week haircut, closing at 97,432.02 points. The market capitalization dropped by 2.3% week-on-week to settle at 59.4 trillion, wiping out 1.2 trillion in gains from the previous week. As a result, the year-on-date return of the index settled at 30.30%. So this is what the stock market has been going, and then the market uncertainty, the rise and fall of the Naira that has been fluctuating for over the past 5 years now has caused most of these losses to happen. But we're hoping for the fact that the Naira gained momentum against the dollar a few hours ago, and then starting this week with a bullish run, we are hoping to see that the stock market and investors will get themselves back into investing and purchasing of more stock, so as the stock market wouldn't be witnessing a loss like this that amount to 1.22 trillion on a weekly base. And this is how much time will permit us to bring to you today on today's edition of Business Points. My name is Samuel Odi. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.